The National Girls Speech and Debate Championship is brought to you by Mermac Productions in partnership with Ghana Education Service and UNESCO Ghana Commission. Proudly sponsored by Margins ID Group, Identity Management Systems, Intelligent Card Production Systems, Cooper Study International, Verna Natural Mineral Water, Big Gold Drinks, and McBerry Biscuits. Supported by Rennes Healthy Special Foods, Jijo Food Court, Fabine Organization, and Ghana Ba Assurance Services. Powered by Simpua Broadcasting Network, NGSDC, Educate, Empower, Encourage.
Imagine a world without worry. A place where everyone is who they say they are, where the people and assets most important to you are protected. A safe space. For over 3 decades, Margins ID Group and its subsidiaries have been building this world. Our state-of-the-art access control systems, asset tagging systems, and CCTV installations ensure that the assets most important to you are protected. We have designed and built award-winning national identity infrastructures, supported by our ultra-modern in-house designed and built verification system. We are the identity experts. We represent you, and we are certified to do so. Proudly, the only African facility to be certified by Intergraph at central banking level. Margins ID Group, made in Ghana by Ghanaians for the world. Visit us now at www.marginsgroup.com.
National Girls Speech and Debates Championship. Educate, empower, and encourage. One more time. Educate, empower, and encourage. Thank you so much. Shall we give ourselves a round of applause for being here today?
Apart from these beautiful schools, we also have very distinguished men and women amongst us. Some of them will be our judges for today's competition, and some too are here to grace the occasion and to imbibe us with some words of knowledge. So let me quickly introduce to you, but he will not give us his words yet. Let me introduce to you our guest of honor, our chairman, Professor Ken Atefa.
Professor Ken Atefa is the Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority. How many of us have NIA cards? How many of us? Ghana card. Okay, yes. So he is the boss in charge, making sure it happens. He is also the chairman of the governing board of the Ghana Refugee Board, and he has been doing this since February 2017. He's a notary public, and that means that he's a man who's distinguished himself and of high repute. He's a barrister and a solicitor of the Supreme Court of Ghana. So he is many, many years my senior. One day, maybe me too, I'll be like him. Say amen for me. He's a criminologist, sociologist. He's into governance, leadership, and he's a management consultant of very, very international distinction and repute. He has held many high-impact national and international appointments. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Professor Ken Atefa here. And we have 2 awesome women who will be giving us some words of empowerment. So they will be coming up next. We have Sophia Kujoji. We have Ms. Babina Finn-Walker. We have Professor Modestus Fosu. And finally, Mr. Moses Jeme. We will continue and move on to our debate sessions. Our judges have taken their seats, and so has our timekeeper. We will now invite our debaters to come and speak on today's topic. The motion is, parents should decide which course their children should pursue in school. Parents should decide which course their children should pursue in school. for the motion is Accra Girls Senior High School. Accra Girls, please take your seats.
Accra Girls Secondary School, thou my pride, my greatest pride, that which thou expect of me, I'll do it with my mind. In all aspects of school life, I shall try to do my best. A shining example I must be to my friends. In all aspects of school life, I shall try to do my best. A shining example I must be to my friends.
And speaking against the motion is Kumasi Wesley Senior High School.
Wesley girls, we praise you. Wesley girls, we adore you. Vital and sexy, with strength and unity, we will march to the top. Arise and shine.
Our debaters have taken their seats, and I'll ask them to introduce themselves to us. So we'll start with Accra Girls.
My name is Rosbella Jimfo Abuatin, the principal speaker for today.
I am Sandra Ichamamwa, the first supporting speaker for the motion.
I am Dorcas Dazi, the second supporting speaker for the motion.
Okay, so Kumasi Wesley Girls will also introduce themselves.
I'm Naila Suleiman Awalkia, the principal speaker against the motion.
I'm Bridget Owusu-Ajaman, the first supporting speaker against the motion.
I'm in a person of Louise Owusu-Sama, the second supporting speaker against the motion.
Thank you very much. It's good to see that our judges are seated and so are debaters. So like I said before, he who wants to persuade should put her trust in the right argument. Let's listen to the debaters. Thank you so much.
The chairperson, impartial jury, accurate timekeeper, my worthy opponent, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I am in the person of Rosbella Jimfo Abuatin, a name I will continue to carry until I become an adult, ready to make my own decision. I am a daughter of the ground on which we stand today, aiming high and projecting the laws of the Almighty. The motion before the House is parents should decide the courses that children pursue in school. To make my presentation clear and simple, permit me to explain on some of the key words in the motion. A parent, according to UNICEF, is not only an adolescent biological mother and father. This term refers to any caregiver or anybody that is in the responsible care of his or her child. The chair, according to definition.net, a course is a series of lessons that are designed to teach a specific topic at the same time. The chair, according to UNICEF, a child is any person below the age of 19. Below the age of 18. Legally, contracts entered into by a minor are not binding on the minor, as they say they do not have the capacity in decision making. I naturally, scientifically, morally, and logically stand for the motion before the House. My colleagues and I will adduce substantial evidence in support our stance. The chair, I will start with a biblical allusion to show that the motion before the House is nothing but a fait accompli, meaning an irreversible accomplishment. Let us go back into the Bible where Hannah, a woman who after so many years of marriage had no child to boast of, this woman goes before the Lord Almighty and makes a petition known to her. He tells the Lord, if you would grant me a child, I will dedicate my son to you for all the days of his life. In no time, Hannah got pregnant and delivered a bouncing baby boy who she named Samuel. This can be found in 1 Samuel chapter 1. Ladies and gentlemen, are we saying that after a parent has gone through the pain, the humiliation, the vilification, the shame and trauma, he or she cannot have a say in cannot choose the course the child should pursue. Well, if a parent makes a commitment before he or she conceives, is it not religiously bound that the parent chooses the course that the child should do? This will be known in Latin as well. Contra bonus mores, meaning going against good morals. This is why I strongly stand for the motion before the House. Moreover, ladies and gentlemen, it is the duty of parents to ensure that their children live a meaningful life. The Holy Prophet, peace be on him, said, each and every one of us is a shepherd and is responsible for our flock. The father is a shepherd of his family and is responsible for his flock. The mother is a shepherdess of her husband's household and is responsible for her flock. The chair, his further goes ahead to say that the content of the Lord is the content of the Father, and the wrath of the Lord is in the wrath of the Father. Ladies and gentlemen, are we saying that looking at how prominent of a role a parent plays in his or her child's life, he or she cannot decide on a course the child should pursue? Ladies and gentlemen, while the child is still under the supervision of his or her parents, this is why I strongly support the motion before the House. Furthermore, the chair, parents are responsible for the payment of their award school fees. There is an adage that says, he who pays the piper calls the tune. It is only a parent that can tell what he or she can afford and would like for his child to undertake a course that is affordable to him or her. Our parents on a daily basis have to go through the Herculean task of catering for their families. Some even go to the extent of sacrificing their joy, their properties, and even their future for their children. Some, on the other hand, decide to borrow from their friends, workplaces, and even banks. Ladies and gentlemen, don't these parents have the right to choose the course that is affordable to him or her to make the child be able to learn well? This is why I'm strongly support in affirmation to the motion before the House. Again, the chair, it is the desire of every parent to see his or her child succeeding in life. Each and every one of us there should be grateful to our parents. Our parents on a daily basis make countless sacrifices to make sure that we live a healthier and happier lifestyle. Therefore, no parent will ever subconsciously put his or her child's future in jeopardy while he or she is a parent. Ladies and gentlemen, parents who have raised their children know them better than anybody else, and thus they are in the right position to make the career choice, the course choice for their award. This is why I'm in full support of the motion before the House. Ladies and gentlemen, when parents choose courses for their children, it reduces the pressure on children. Imagine having to write an exam and choose your course at the same time. What are you going to do? Won't you get confused? You will just, in the midst of the moment, choose any course without actually going through to critically examine the input of that course. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why it's ideal for these students to put aside their courses and focus on their ongoing exams. Parents know their children better than anyone else, and thus are in the right position to make the good courses for their awards. These students should rather focus on their exams and have their parents bear the responsibility of choosing their courses for them. This is why I support the motion before the House. Lastly, the chair, parents are more experienced than their children. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that you cannot compare the experience a parent has had to that of his or her child. Parents are far more advanced in terms of what they've seen in life and know everything that life has to offer them, which the child doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, some children, out of their inexperience, when allowed to choose their courses, may go wayward. And guess who is going to be blamed at the end of the day? Their parents, not the children themselves. So why then shouldn't the parents choose the course to avert all these problems in the first place? Ladies and gentlemen, we all know the story of the prodigal. We all know how this boy, when his father gave him an opportunity to prove himself, he wasted his opportunity and came back to their father. Ladies and gentlemen, do we still want to repeat the story of the prodigal son after 2,000 years after this parable? Well, I leave that judgment to you. Thank you.
Chair, impartial panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, distinguished guests, teachers, co-debaters, students, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I am in the person of Naila Suleiman, the principal speaker against the motion, and I quote, parents should decide which course their children pursue in school. Unquote. The chair permits me to explain some keywords in the motion for the benefit of our listeners and my dear confused debaters. The chair, according to vocabulary.com, a parent parent is a mother or a father or someone who nurtures a child or a person who serves the role of a guardian. Course refers to a series of lessons in a particular subject. Pursue means continuing to do activity to achieve something over a period of time. School is a place where children go to acquire knowledge and skills in a well-structured way. The house, the motion therefore seeks to tell us that the courses that students study in school, which determines their lifetime career, should be decided upon by their parents. How does this sound? Ridiculous, right? That's why I rise to strongly speak against this motion. Every single person in this auditorium can attest to the fact that this 21st century is full of freedoms, liberties, and rights in doing almost everything. I know they've even said it that our parents are just nurturing their wards and are so paying their school fees. So is for them. But the chair, let's not forget that everybody learns faster and better when they love what they learn. Same applies to education, my dear opponent. When children love the courses they offer, they tend to learn and understand it faster and better. You can attest to this fact, my dear opponents. The chair, join me as I elaborate on the numerous reasons why children should choose their own courses. Moving on to my first point. Children have their rights to choose their own courses. According to lsdlaw.com, the right to choose means having the freedom to make decisions, including the school to attend, just like you chose Accra girls, and the course to study. They share, according to 1992 Constitution of Ghana, Children Act of 1998, Section 11, states emphatically that no person, the house, and I repeat, no person shall deprive a child's capability of forming views, expressing ideas, to be listened to, and also participate in decisions that affect their well-being. So, my dear, will you rise against our constitution? Well, I doubt it. Then, moving on to my next point. Children know themselves better. There's a saying that goes, nobody, and I repeat, nobody knows you better than you. Children know their interests and their capabilities. They know their dislikes and weaknesses. They know the courses that make them happy. And all things being equal, children who find it difficult deciding on their courses are being guided by the career guidance and counseling unit. My dear opponent, this is the main reason why continuous assessment is extremely important in our schools. So if parents who do not know the strengths and weaknesses of their wards choose courses for them, they'll just end up putting them on unreasonable pressure, which will make them feel woefully. According to ECC, LES, and colleagues, a research conducted by ECC, LES, and colleagues found that when children are made to decide on their own courses, it gives them a greater sense of self-identity, self-concept, and personal agency. My dear, if you don't know, I'm telling you. Besides, according to stories from finanschoolingfamily.com, they found that some parents do not know children know themselves better than their own parents. Moving on to my third point. When another undeniable reason why students should choose their own courses is that it makes them think critically, and make decisions for themselves. When children are made to choose their own courses, they have their own reasons why to choose one particular course. So just like you chose the courses you are offering now. They share their house. They know what interests them. So they make decisions, and this prepares them for the real world. The real world experience is all about choices. And the choice of course you will make, the choice of career you will make in the future depends on your choice of course now. This is why students should be allowed to choose their own courses. According to Mr. Kojo Esiama Ado, lead advocate of Social Watch Africa, in his words of encouragement, said that parents need to be aware that the skills their children exhibit in schools and the skills and the things they easily do would be what they would build a career for. They share the house. So if we do not allow children to make their own decisions now, how will they make decisions for themselves in the future? Will they still have to depend on their parents, girls? Well, your guess is as good as mine. They share, finally, another reason why students should choose their own course is that when they choose their own course, it gives them a greater sense of self-motivation. They share, if children are allowed to choose courses on their own, they have their reason why they choose some particular courses. They share. Imagine forcing a child who wants to study visual art or fashion design to study medicine. The child would definitely not be engaged. Whatever he or she will do in class will be a forceful way, and those to make the child feel woefully. Please, my dear opponents, answer me. Are you offering a course chosen by your parents? Well, they share. If that's so, I'm afraid for you. In fact, I'm afraid for you. They share. Last but not least, when children are allowed to choose courses on their own, it will help them explore their interests and talents from a very young age. They share. If everyone is allowed to choose courses on their own, it will make them go for some particular courses which will help them. Some students are more of abstract thinking, so they prefer the science and math courses. Others who are very creative, just like you have visual art students in your school, so they prefer creative courses like the visual art courses and other artistic courses. So these are the differences in interest of children. It is better encouraging them to choose their own courses, since it will build upon their interests, their natural interests. This is the same reason why our very own education minister, in the person of Dr. Yao Ose Educhuma, 15 February 2022, urged all headmasters and head teachers to encourage students to choose vocational and technical institutions if that's where interest lies. This is an education minister. Are you going to challenge him? Well, you don't even have the strength to. They share the house with a cogent point race. I call on all and sundry to rally behind my team as a winning team, as we kick against the motion that parents should decide which course their children pursue in school. Unquote. They share the house. Thank you.
My name is Sandra Echamamwa, and I stand on the existing protocol established by my principal speaker as the first supporting speaker for the motion. Parents should decide the courses their children should pursue in school. Ladies and gentlemen, the Constitution of Ghana, Article 25 states, and I quote, all persons shall have the right to equal educational opportunities and facilities, and with the view to achieving the full realization of that right, basic education shall be free, compulsory, and available to all. Chair, according to UNICEF's Convention on the Rights of the Child, their children's worship bullet 3 states, best interest of the child. Firstly, the chair, parents know their children better than anyone else, including the child. The first priority and duty of every parent is to know and understand the child's innate strength, focus, talent, resources, weaknesses, what arouses the curiosity of the child. Parents know their children. Now, this parent has been watching this child grow up to 18 good years and understands all the work ethics, habits, and nuances. Parents are also in a better position to identify what comes into the child. When adults make decisions, they should think about how the decisions will affect children. All adults should do what is best for children. The government should make sure that children are protected and catered for their parents and other people when they need be. The government again should make sure that people and places responsible for looking after these children do a very good job. The chair, an international organization like UNICEF, affirms our point that yes, parents should be the ones to select courses for their children and therefore ensure that they're right. At this point, I say thank you to our parents for their hard work and toil in the courses we are pursuing our education. This is why I support the motion before the House. The chair, according to the Sustainable Development Goals, point number 4 talks about quality education. Who provides quality education? Is it only the government? Children become the ultimate beneficiaries of the hard work of the government and other stakeholders in the educational sector. Why then should it be their responsibility to choose the courses they should study? This is why we stand vehemently for the motion before the House resolved. Again, the chair, children according to the Constitution of Ghana are not bound and cannot be questioned for any crime committed unless an adult related to this child is present. According to the Juvenile Justice Act 2003, Act 653, Section 13, interview of juvenile. A juvenile shall not be questioned or interviewed by the police in relation to any alleged offense unless a parent, lawyer, close relative of this child is present at the interview. Now, if the laws of the land says that children cannot be interviewed without the presence of their parents, how then is it possible for these very same children to select their own choices? The chair, children in this country cannot marry or enter into any form or legal transaction without their parents. How then do we allow them to choose courses on their own when parents are around to do so on their behalf? Ladies and gentlemen, when children have consented to sexual relationships with adults, their consent is stamped by our constitution as null and void. If these children don't have any right to their bodies, how much more right do they have in selecting the courses on their own? The child, in nowhere in the constitution that states that children have the right to select their own courses. Yes, they do have the right to education, but parents have the right to select courses for their children. Because they would pay for it. This is why we continue to support the motion before the House. Ladies and gentlemen, parents should continue to select courses for their children in order to ensure that their future is secured. Whenever school places miss out, Parents go through hell in order to ensure that their parents get schools, even when some of them do not perform. Go to placement centers and see how some parents are embarrassed. Why? Just because they allow their children the liberty in selecting courses on their own. The chair, this is why we support the motion. This is why we support the motion before the House. When you ask children about their future careers, you'll be amazed with what you hear. Lawyers, pilots, but the House. How many places do we even have in the country? Doctors and the like. If these children are not good at selecting their own courses, how much more the courses leading to this same profession? The chair, parents should select courses for their children because their children will one day inherit them. Some top business tycoons in the country have directly and indirectly involved their children in the running of businesses. For example, despite media and Kansas media have children of these great men working in their firms. Now, if Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Dangote, and Ibrahim Muhammad cannot decide courses for their children to pursue in order to take over their assets one day, then what kind of society are we living in? The answer is obvious. In conclusion, the following are the points we have raised in arguments for the motion. 1. It would be termed in Latin as contra bonus mores, to wait against good morals. 2. Parents are responsible for the payment of the fee of their children. 3. It is the duty and desire for parents to see their children succeed in life. 4. It reduces pressure on children. 5. Children are naive. 6. Parents are experienced. 7. It would be in the best interest of the child. 8. Parents should select courses for these children because these children will one day inherit them. 9. To ensure their future is secured. 10. Children act emotionally. 11. Children are gullible. The chair, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would want to use this great opportunity to say I equal to our parents present here. I rest my case. Thank you.
All protocols duly observed. I am Bridget Owusu Ajiman, the supporting speaker, speaking against the motion on board, and I quote, parents should decide which course their children pursue in school, unquote. But the chair, before I proceed, please permit me to address some fallacies in the submission of my opponent. I agree with my opponents that parents are responsible for their children's upbringing, and every parent wants their best for their wards. But the chair, choosing your child's life is like playing with God. For God created mankind, but he has given us the will to do certain things on our own. Besides, teachers are well vexed with guidance and counseling who helps them to choose from different varieties as in courses or careers. My opponent, if I may ask you, don't you have the guidance and counseling unit in your school which guide you according to the grades you accumulate in continuous assessment? I'm very sure you've realized that you lost this debate. Again, my dearest opponent trying to rise against our dear Constitution of Ghana, which is the Children Act of 1998, Section 11, which says that, quote unquote, no person shall deprive of forming views, the right to express an opinion, to be listened to, and to partake in decisions affecting their well-being. The chair, the House, with this quoted article from the Constitution, we have all seen that it is every single child's right to choose their course of preference. And I don't want my opponent to stand the full rigor of the rule of law if they still stand for the motion. My opponent, I heard you made mention of experience. Well, get informed that the age of Methuselah has nothing to do with the wisdom of King Solomon. Educational matters are very sensitive and unique, and therefore it needs experts such as teachers, counselors, and even educational psychologists. So why do we our parents to impose courses upon us if we still have these people to guide us? And foremost, why I rise against this motion is that when parents impose courses on their children, it puts psychological stress on the children. If courses are imposed on children by their parents, the child tends to carry load which belongs to the parents and start solving the parents' load. This will eventually frustrate the child both psychologically and emotionally. With this in view, on the 15th of February 2023, the Enhancement Municipal Director of the Ghana Education Service, Mrs. Julia Malikosa, urged all parents to allow their children to choose their own courses rather than imposing it on them. The House, my opponent, scholar in the GES, made this assertion because she really know the effect. Again, a lot of suicidal cases happen when courses are imposed on children by their parents. Parental expectation often leads to a youngster developing negative perception of life. A 2017 research paper said that this situation gradually turns them to despair and drives them suicidal if they perform badly academically. On the 25th of February 2017, a Kenyan university student by name Ajwa Achekwa committed suicide after failing her semester examination. According to her colleague, it was found out that she left a note that reads, quote and unquote, "I'm sorry to disappoint you." My opponent, whom did she disappoint? Is clearly her parents. It was later found out that she was forced to take up a course, which was not her choice. Finally, the chair, the house. When courts are imposed on children by their parents, the parents tend to pass their unaccomplished goals to the children. The chair, the house. Where am I? Many parents are unable to reach certain goals in life due to various reasons, and if they impose courses upon their, they tend to pass their accomplished goals to their children, which makes learning very difficult for their children. My opponent, the house, we all testify. We have individual differences that makes us unique on our own. So we should allow children to choose their own course in order to reach their teen dreams and aspiration. The chair, the house, with this cogent points raised, I call upon you to rally behind my side as a winning team. Thank you.
Chair, ladies and gentlemen, I am Kazdazi, the second sporting speaker for the motion before the House. The chair, I would like to say, Ephesians chapter 6 verse 1 says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. For this is the first commandment with a promise." Ladies and gentlemen, my opponents were here, and it was quite unfortunate that I had to sit down and see them send us to a fairy world. But thank God, alas, I'm here to bring you to reality. Ladies and gentlemen, how can you tell me that these people, this lady that committed suicide was a key factor? I beg my opponent, let me ask, was she under 18? This person is not a child, and that is not our focus today. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also want to say that when a child fails, a child does what is not right, and the child ends up failing. Who do they mark the child to? Let's talk about Duncan Williams. Everybody began to know his son because he is the son of Duncan Williams. I beg, if the man wasn't Duncan Williams, will you know his son? No. After all, the responsibility marks back to the parents. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I would like to talk about one thing my opponent said. She said that parents are responsible for the child. Therefore, you have already agreed that parents are responsible for the child. My opponents were also stating that the children will come and then they would have support from psychologists, counseling units. I beg, aren't these people parents? Let me define parents for you. Parents are any caregivers, including professionals, who can serve as parents and make choices for children below the age of 18. Oh, please, let us not deceive ourselves with facts that are true. Here, now, ladies and gentlemen, you said that guardians, if these things were against the law, then who is punished? When you said children have liberty in this 21st century, but this liberty that the law is giving them, after all, if the person commits a crime, he is a minor, she is a minor, who did they go for? The parent. I beg, please search before you come. Let us bring evidence, key evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, children are impulsive. They do not know the right thing. Some may look matured by age. However, their brains haven't cognitively developed fully yet. Are we saying these people should be allowed to choose a course? After all, when they fail, when they don't make it, who do they come back to? There is a saying that you can force the horse to the riverside, but you can't force the horse to drink the water. Of course, but now have we thought of it? When this horse is thirsty, who does it affect? It affects the person riding the horse. Therefore, if this child is not seeing the benefit of this course that you are imposing on her, at least one day this child will see the benefit when he finds out that really I needed this course. So let me add a saying to this saying, that if the horse will not drink the water, carry the water along so that when the horse is thirsty, the horse will drink it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
The Honorable Chair charges the House. All protocols duly observed. I greet you all. I go by the name Louisa Owusu-Sama. The Chair, I want my dear opponent to know that we are not here to have any fight, but rather to summarize the point raised by my dearest team and also advise them not to contemplate. The Chair, the House, I would like to re-emphasize that regardless of the mere point raised by my dear opponent on the reasons why parents should decide the course that their children are going to pursue in school, But we all have heard the dangers involved when parents perform such an act, and also the advantages when children choose their own course to pursue in school. The chair, the house, I hereby present our undisputable argument on 9 strong pillars that parents should decide their children's course to pursue in school. 1. Children have the right to choose their own course to pursue in school because it will help them to boost their energy level and also reduce psychological stress. Point 2, the chair, when children know themselves more than their parents in terms of their capabilities, abilities, strength, and even self-identity. Point 3, the chair, when children decide their own course to pursue in school, it promotes critical thinking and also help them to make good decisions in order to fulfill their dreams. Point 4, the chair, when children choose their own course to pursue in school, it helps them to explore their interests and also talent from young age because God has given us our own talent and interest. Point 5, the chair, when parents choose their own children's course to pursue in school, it hinders the exploitation of diverse subjects and also career path. Point 6, the chair, when children decide course to pursue in school, it promotes a sense of motivation. Now, let's take a look at this. If you want to become a medical doctor in future and you decide with your relative, is he or she going to discourage you? No, but rather motivate you. Point 7, the chair, when parents decide their children's course, it causes psychological stress on the children. Point 8, the chair, parents decide their children's courses, it can cause suicide on some children, just as my supporting speaker made mention of the Kumasi suicidal case. Finally, the chair, when parents choose their children's course to pursue, they try to burden their children with their unfulfilled dream, which is totally wrong. Now, the chair, the house, please permit me to rebut some points made by my opponent. 1, they made assertion of duty of parents. Yes, it is their duty to guide them, but not to impose courses on their children. Point 2, the chair, they also made assertion that it makes the children learn well. My opponent, don't forget that parents are not doing the learning, but rather the children are the one doing the learning. Point 3, the chair, the house thing.
Imagine a world without worry. A place where everyone is who they say they are, where the people and assets most important to you are protected. A safe space. For over 3 decades, Margins ID Group and its subsidiaries have been building this world. Our state-of-the-art access control systems, asset tagging systems, and CCTV installations ensure that the assets most important to you are protected. We have designed and built award-winning national identity infrastructures, supported by our ultra-modern in-house designed and built verification system. We are the identity experts. We represent you, and we are certified to do so. Proudly, the only African facility to be certified by Intergraph at central banking level. Margins ID Group, made in Ghana by Ghanaians for the world. Visit us now at www.marginsgroup.com.
We have just heard very wonderful debates and topics and points from both Accra Girls Senior High School and Kumasi Wesley Girls Senior High School. Let's give them another round of applause. We'd like to acknowledge our sponsors, Intelligent Card Production Systems. They made these wonderful books for us, and most of the debaters have their copies. So these very wonderful books came from our sponsors, Intelligent Card Production Systems. Also Margins ID Systems and Identity Management Systems. We also have Verna Water. If you have your water by you, please wave it. Our debaters from Kumasi Wesley, please raise your water. Raise your water. Let Verna see that we are drinking Verna water. Thank you. This is so exciting. Thank you so much. Bigo drinks and McBerry biscuits. We also have as our partners GES and UNESCO, and we are being supported by Jujo Food Court, and powered by Mermac Productions and Sempua Productions. Sempua is saying that production, branding, and marketing should be exclusive, yet affordable. We'll now present their certificates of participation. I will invite up Dora Bedu Echampong. She is the Executive Director of Help a Girl Foundation and Mermac Productions, which is the one powering this event. So let's invite Dora Bedu Echampong to come forward. We'll start with Kumasi Wesley. Naila to Sulemana Awalkia. Bridget Owusu Ajimai. Louisa Owusu Sama. Rose Bella Jemfu Abuating. Sandra Echama Amwa. And finally, Dorcas Dazi. Okay. So the moment we've all been waiting for. We invite one of the judges to come up and give us the results.
Hello. For Judge 1, scored one school, that is Accra Girls Senior High, 251 when we collected. The next judge, 255. The third judge, 259. Kumasi Wesley Girls Senior High School, Judge 1, 256. Judge 2, 239. Judge 3, 263. So, Kumasi Wesley Girls Senior High School came up with a total score of 758, and Accra Girls Senior High School came up with a total of 765 points. All right, please, let me finish. Now, the best debater, we looked at their individual scores. Every debater here had an individual score. And the one that had the highest is who we rated as the best debater. And that goes to Miss, is it Bridget? Bridget? Ah, okay.
Certificate for Best Debater, Bridget Owusu Ajimai. So Accra girls, please come and receive your winning certificate. Okay, and then the check, 1,500 Ghana cedis, presented to Accra girls. Powerful speeches, powerful display of eloquence. It's been wonderful. It's been awesome. I wish I could go back to those days and participate myself. This is the National Girls Speech and Debate Championship, the semifinals. So we'll get ready for the finals. One last time, I want to thank our sponsors, Intelligent Card Production Systems, Margin ID Systems, Identity Management Systems, Verna Water, Bigo Drinks, and McBerry Biscuits, and also GES and UNESCO for partnering with us. And our supporters, Jujo Food Court and You know, all this beautiful production, it's been powered by Mermac Production and Sempwa Productions. The National Girls Speech and Debate Championship aims to empower, educate, and to encourage. And I hope that this day has been a day of encouragement, education, and empowerment. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you very much, the teachers, the debaters, the schools, for making time, for making sure that the students were able to come here. We are grateful. We don't take it for granted. We'll prepare ourselves for the finals, and we will communicate all those details to everyone. Thank you. I have been your MC, Bridget Atakunedu, and I hope you have a very good afternoon. Thank you so much.
Imagine a world without worry. A place where everyone is who they say they are, where the people and assets most important to you are protected. A safe space. For over 3 decades, Margins ID Group and its subsidiaries have been building this world. Our state-of-the-art access control systems, asset tagging systems, and CCTV installations ensure that the assets most important to you are protected. We have designed and built award-winning national identity infrastructures, supported by our ultra-modern in-house designed and built verification system. We are the identity experts. We represent you, and we are certified to do so. Proudly, the only African facility to be certified by Intergraph at central banking level. Margins ID Group, made in Ghana by Ghanaians for the world. Visit us now at www.marginsgroup.com.